Today you buy a luxury SUV that needs technical support even to inflate the tires, but these 14 legends only need gasoline and willpower. While modern trucks are disposable computers wrapped in plastic, these iron tanks were forged to survive the end of the world. Today you will see how pure engineering humiliates biodegradable technology. Stay until the 3 last positions because these machines are the only ones that will continue to roll when their modern granddaughters are scrap metal. Number 14. Toyota Land Cruiser 90 Series Prado. In the mid-90s, Toyota faced an existential dilemma. Its legendary 80 series was the absolute queen of heavy off-roaders, but the market was changing. People wanted the reliability of a war tank, but with a ride that did not require the biceps of a truck driver. Thus, the 90 series was born, known in much of the world as the Land Cruiser Prado. Many purists of the time looked at it with skepticism because it was the first in the family to adopt an independent front suspension, abandoning the rigid front axle that had defined the brand for decades. But time, that unforgiving judge, proved the Japanese engineers right. Under its sober and elegant lines hides one of the most robust chassis ever made. It is not a toy truck. It shares its basic architecture with the Hilux of the time, which means that its backbone is designed to withstand abuses that would destroy the transmission of any modern truck in 1 week. But the true secret of its immortality lies in what is under the hood. In the diesel versions, we find the KZT 3.0-liter engine, a block that for many is the pinnacle of effective simplicity. It does not have the complex and extremely delicate injection systems of current engines that are destroyed if the fuel is not of laboratory purity. This engine swallows almost anything and keeps pushing. Number 13. Jeep Cherokee XJ. If there is a vehicle that can boast of having changed automotive history forever, it is the Jeep Cherokee XJ. When it was launched in 1984, off-road vehicles were, by definition, heavy trucks with bodies bolted to a beam chassis. Jeep decided to do something radical, the first real unibody design in a high-volume 4x4 vehicle. The result was a truck that weighed half a ton less than its rivals but had astonishing structural rigidity. It was such a perfect design that it remained in production for 18 years with almost no aesthetic changes. The Cherokee XJ is living proof that lightness is a tactical advantage. In mud or sand, while heavy modern trucks sink due to their own excess weight and useless equipment, the XJ floats, but its true crowning jewel is the 6-cylinder inline, 4.0-liter engine. That block is not an engine, it is an anvil. With 7 crankshaft supports and an overhead valve architecture dating from an era where things were made to last 100 years, this engine is practically impossible to kill. I have seen units run with alarmingly low oil levels, with the cooling system at its limit and under extreme temperatures, and they simply refuse to die. Number 12. Mitsubishi Montero/Pajero 520. In the 90s, if you wanted to win the most difficult rally in the world, the Paris-Dakar, there was only one name on the list of favorites: Mitsubishi. The Montero, or Pajero depending on the market, was not just a street vehicle used for racing. It was a racing platform sold in dealerships. The V20 generation, produced mainly in the decade of the 90s, represents the highest point of Mitsubishi engineering before the brand lost its way in the world of hybrids and cheap plastics. What makes the Montero of this era humiliate the new ones is its super select traction system. While today's trucks use electronic clutches that overheat after 15 minutes of intense effort in the sand, Mitsubishi's system is a marvel of mechanical engineering. It allows you to switch from rear-wheel drive to all-wheel drive and even lock the center differential while moving at 100 kilometers per hour. It is a transfer case so robust that it has been used as a base for military vehicles. Number 11. 90s Chevrolet Suburban GMT 400. There are big vehicles, and then there is the Chevrolet Suburban of the GMT 400 platform. This is the ultimate land aircraft carrier. Produced between 1992 and 1999, this generation of the Suburban represents the end of a golden era for General Motors where size was not an aesthetic pose but a functional necessity. If modern SUVs try to be tall sports cars, the Suburban of the 90s made no apologies for what it was: a cargo truck disguised as a luxury family vehicle. Under that enormous expanse of American steel lies a 3/4-ton truck architecture. While modern Suburbans use independent rear suspensions that are very comfortable but unable to withstand real punishment off-road or with heavy loads, the GMT 400 uses a massive rigid axle and leaf springs that could support the weight of a small house. The most common engine, the legendary small block 5.7-liter known as the 350, is probably the easiest engine to repair in the history of humanity. There are so many parts available, and its design is so logical that you could rebuild it in your backyard with basic tools. Number 10. Nissan Patrol GE61. If Toyota built a legend of reliability, Nissan built a monument to brute force. The Patrol GE61 series is, for many extreme expedition experts, the ultimate vehicle. While modern trucks are filled with aluminum components to save weight and comply with emissions regulations, Nissan designed the GE61 with the mindset of a heavy machinery manufacturer. Its axles are literally thicker and stronger than those of almost any other vehicle in its class. They are so robust that extreme off-road enthusiasts often buy them to adapt them to other vehicles that have broken their original parts. The heart of this beast is, in many regions, the TD42 engine. We are talking about a 6-cylinder diesel of 4.2 liters that does not use a timing belt or chain, it uses a gear cascade. This means that theoretically the engine's timing system will last as long as the block itself. It is a design that eliminates at its root one of the most common failure points in modern engines. This engine does not have complex electronic management. It can work submerged in water, under suffocating heat, or in the most extreme cold, as long as it has air and fuel. Number 9. Ford Bronco 5th generation. There was a time when Ford did not worry about aerodynamic coefficients or the fuel consumption of a lighter. The 5th generation of the Bronco, produced between 1992 and 1996, is the swan song of pure American power before the world became politically correct. This truck is the definition of authority on the road. With its square lines and wide stance, it did not need decorative lights to command respect. Under the hood, you could find the 5.0 or the massive 5.8-liter 8-cylinder V engine. These are not computer-optimized engines for efficiency. They are iron blocks designed to deliver torque from the moment you brush the accelerator. The simplicity of these engines is their greatest virtue. While a modern engine has twin turbos, high-pressure direct injection, and cylinder deactivation systems that often fail after 100,000 kilometers, Ford's 8-cylinder is an old-school design that any mechanic with a basic set of wrenches can keep running for half a century. Number 8. Suzuki Samurai/Jimny. We often make the mistake of confusing size with capability. The Suzuki Samurai and its successor, the Jimny, are the slap of reality that the automotive industry receives every time it tries to sell a giant truck loaded with useless technology. While current manufacturers design 3-ton vehicles for grocery shopping, Suzuki created a tiny warrior that is capable of going where the giants sink. The secret of the Samurai is its featherweight. Being so light, it does not need gigantic engines or complex suspensions, it simply floats over obstacles. Mechanically, the Samurai is simplicity elevated to perfection. Its 4-cylinder engine is so small and basic that it looks like a toy, but it is that same lack of complexity that makes it indestructible. There are no turbos, no proximity sensors, nothing superfluous. It uses rigid axles with leaf springs on all 4 wheels, a configuration that is basically the same as that used by horse carriages in World War I tanks. It is rough, bouncy, and uncomfortable on the road, but the moment the asphalt ends, the Samurai humiliates trucks that cost 10 times more. Where a modern luxury SUV gets stuck because its electronic traction systems get confused with mud, the Suzuki simply puts its mechanical transfer case in low range and keeps climbing. It is a vehicle that you can repair on the side of the road with a screwdriver and a piece of wire. It is the antithesis of disposable modernity. The Samurai does not try to be a luxury car. It is a pure exploration tool that teaches us that true strength does not come from brute power, but from intelligent design and mechanics that anyone can understand and maintain. Number 7. Isuzu Trooper/Bighorn. There is a silent respect among old-school mechanics when an Isuzu Trooper enters the workshop. Unlike other brands that spent millions on advertising, Isuzu concentrated its resources on metallurgy and the resistance of internal components. The Trooper, known in other markets as Bighorn, is the best-kept secret of Japanese engineering because it was designed by a company that manufactures heavy-duty trucks as its main activity. This heritage is evident in every inch of its construction. While other SUVs of its time used differentials designed for adapted passenger cars, Isuzu installed components that seem oversized for the vehicle's size. The six-cylinder V 3.2 or 3.5-liter engine is a masterpiece of simplicity and thermal efficiency. It is not a racing engine, it is an endurance engine. Its cylinder walls are thick, and its lubrication system is designed to maintain pressure even at extreme incline angles, but what really separates the Trooper from the competition is its chassis. The thickness of the steel used in its frame is superior to that of almost any contemporary competitor. It is a vehicle that does not twist, does not creak, and withstands the passage of decades without showing structural fatigue. Many adventurers choose the Trooper because its all-wheel drive system is incredibly honest. There are no layers of software trying to simulate traction. There are physical gears that bite into the terrain with a determination that has disappeared today. It is the truck for those who understand that the value of a vehicle is measured by how many times it returns home after an impossible day, and not by how many features its dashboard has. It is, in essence, a cargo truck disguised as a family vehicle, built to last as long as the owner intends to maintain it. Number 6. Toyota 4Runner Second Generation. To speak of the second generation of the 4Runner is to speak of a vehicle that defined the standard of urban and rural survival in the 90s. Produced between 1989 and 1995, this SUV is the perfect evolution of Toyota's work truck towards a more civilized format, but without losing an ounce of its original toughness. The 3VE 3.0-liter six-cylinder engine is the heart of this legend. Although some enthusiasts criticize its speed, no one can question its iron will. It is an engine that, with basic maintenance of oils and coolants, can exceed 500,000 kilometers without needing to open the block. The body of this 4Runner is practically indestructible. It was designed before programmed crumple zones were as intrusive as they are today, which means its structure has a rigidity that is felt with every door close. The tailgate with a power-down rear window is an iconic feature that today would be impossible to manufacture due to the high engineering costs involved, but Toyota made it standard. Its rear suspension system uses coil springs, which gives it a superior ride comfort compared to leaf spring trucks, but maintains a load capacity that today we only see in commercial vehicles. This is an SUV that does not know obsolescence. Its interiors are made with plastics and fabrics that seem to reject the passage of time and wear from the sun. It is the kind of vehicle you buy once in a lifetime and can pass down to your children with the confidence that it will still start on the first turn of the key. The second generation of the 4Runner is proof that when Toyota engineers have the freedom to create a balanced product, the result is a machine that defies the laws of the market and time. Number 5. Range Rover Classic. The Range Rover Classic is probably the most misunderstood vehicle on this list. Many associate it with British aristocracy, but beneath its leather and wood skin hides one of the most capable and mechanically pure off-roaders man has ever designed. This is the elegance that can be fixed with a wrench in the middle of a desert, unlike modern Range Rovers, which are basically computers on wheels that require specific scanners for each sensor. The Classic is a pure hardware machine. Its 8-cylinder V engine of Buick origin is one of the longest-lived power units in history. It is a light, simple aluminum block with constant torque that allows the vehicle to overcome obstacles with an elegance that no other SUV can match. Its rigid axles and long travel springs give it an articulation that seems to defy physics. The most fascinating thing about the Range Rover Classic is that every component was designed to be repaired, not replaced. It is a vehicle designed by and for explorers who knew that in deep Africa there would be no official dealership. It is true that it requires constant attention, but it is mechanical, predictable, and logical attention. There are no software errors that block the transmission. There are levers and cables that respond to your hands. Owning a Classic today is an act of rebellion against unnecessary complexity. It is enjoying the pinnacle of British design, knowing that you have a real exploration tool under your feet, one that does not need a system update to take you to the top of the highest mountain. Number 4. Dodge Ram Charger. The Dodge Ram Charger is the maximum representation of American muscle applied to the world of SUVs. While other brands sought delicacy, Dodge simply placed a closed body on the chassis of its 1500 series trucks. The result was a civilian war tank with a personality that intimidates on any road. The Ram Charger does not ask permission to pass. It simply opens its own way thanks to a massive construction where steel is the absolute protagonist. Under the hood of these beasts, 318 or 360 cubic inch engines used to roar. We are talking about the legendary 8 cylinders of Chrysler's LA family. These engines are the mechanical equivalent of a hammer, simple, heavy, and extremely effective. Their ignition system is basic, their carburation is easy to adjust, and their capacity to move weight is unmatched. There are no decorative plastics covering the engine. There is an iron block that radiates heat and power. The Ramcharger uses heavy-duty front and rear axles, often from the Dana brand, which are known in the off-road world for being practically unbreakable. Its C-section chassis is so thick that you could tow a house without the frame suffering a single micron of deformation. It is a machine from an era where gasoline was cheap and durability was measured by the weight of the vehicle. Seeing a Ramcharger today is contemplating a giant from another era, a reminder that there was a time when men built things to last forever, regardless of how much energy they consumed in the process. Number 3. Mercedes-Benz G-Class with 460. The Mercedes-Benz G-Class is today a status symbol on the streets of Beverly Hills, but its origin and true essence lie in the 24 460 series. This is unadorned military heritage, a tool originally designed for armies that needed absolute mobility in the planet's most hostile terrains. Unlike modern versions full of screens and ambient lights, the 460 is an exercise in pure functionalism. Every right angle of its body has a reason: to facilitate panel repair in the field and maximize interior space. Mechanically, this SUV is a tank. 5-cylinder diesel engines, like the legendary 300GD, are known for their ability to run for decades with minimal maintenance. They are not fast engines, but their torque delivery is so constant that it seems the vehicle would never stop on a slope. What makes the original G-Class an engineering gem is its system of 3 mechanical differential locks. While modern vehicles rely on electronic braking of individual wheels, Mercedes allowed the driver to physically lock the front, center, and rear axles. The build quality of the 460 series is something we will hardly see again. The adjustments of the components, the resistance of the external hinges, and the robustness of the rigid axles are designed for a 50-year life cycle, not 5. It is a vehicle that does not depreciate because its value does not reside in the technology it contains, but in the integrity of its steel and the precision of its manual assembly in Austria. It is, in short, war architecture adapted for those seeking mechanical immortality. Number 2. Land Rover Defender 90 and 110. The Land Rover Defender is the icon that was born from a simple drawing in the sand of a Welsh beach in 1947. For decades, the 90 and 110 models represented the backbone of global exploration. It is not just an SUV, it is a life support system for those who work in the confines of civilization. Its aluminum body, originally chosen due to the scarcity of steel after the war, proved to be its greatest advantage, allowing it to resist corrosion in climates where other vehicles simply disintegrate. The genius of the Defender lies in its modular simplicity. Almost any part of the vehicle can be disassembled and replaced with basic tools. The 300T Di engine is considered by many to be the best engine Land Rover ever built. It is a purely mechanical engine without complex electronic management, capable of functioning even if the vehicle's electrical system fails completely. Its galvanized steel chassis is a massive structure that withstands the most extreme abuses without complaining. Driving a Defender is a sensory experience. You feel every gear working, you hear the power transfer, and you have the certainty that there is no sensor that can decide for you whether or not you can advance. It is the ultimate adventurer's tool because it does not try to be comfortable or luxurious. It tries to be unstoppable. The Defender is not a consumer object, it is an expedition companion that, if treated with the respect its engineering deserves, will survive several generations of owners. Number 1. Toyota Land Cruiser 80 Series. We arrive at what is, by almost universal consensus among experts and mechanics worldwide, the best SUV ever made by humans, the Toyota Land Cruiser 80 Series. Produced between 1990 and 1997, this machine represents the perfect balance point where material engineering reached its peak before electronics began to dictate the rules. It is the vehicle that all international organizations and peacekeeping forces choose when their lives depend on reaching their destination. What makes the 80 series so special is its intentional over-engineering. Its axles are full floating, which means that even if you break an axle shaft, the wheel will not detach from the vehicle. Its engines, whether the 6-cylinder gasoline 4.5-liter or the legendary 1HDT turbo diesel, are designed to cover 1 million kilometers before requiring a major rebuild. It is a tank that uses coil springs at all 4 corners, achieving surprising ride comfort without sacrificing load capacity or the durability of rigid axles. The 80 series, known in some countries as Autana or Burbuja, has a feeling of solidity that is impossible to find in today's industry. When you close its door, the sound is like a safe. There are no plastic creaks or strange vibrations. It is a vehicle designed to operate 25 years in the third world with minimal maintenance and continue to function like the first day. Today, finding a well-maintained unit is like finding a treasure. Its price goes up every year because the world has finally understood that nothing with this level of integrity and passion for durability will ever be manufactured again.